How y'all doing? For this video, I'm showing off some miniatures I got from eBay here, thankfully at a decent price compared to how they normally are, and that is 2D Dragon Lords board game from Grenadier Miniatures. Now, for those of you who never seen my previous videos, which I covered on this, the basic summation of this is pretty simple. I mean, look at this. This cover tells you all. You have dragons flying around, got riders up on top, you're flying around and attacking each other. This is done on a hex grid. You can have the dragons by themselves, or if you have the additional additions to that, you could put on maybe a mage, a knight with a lance, you could put an archer or crossbowman. They all have their different stats and how they work. And gameplay wise, it's Battletech. If you know how to play Battletech board game, you can play this. I'm not joking here. Here's a Battletech record sheet. You got your stats of what weapons it has, where all its parts are located, and all this part about how strong it is in the armor and internal parts. Here's Dragon Lords. You're basically using the same mechanics. Put all the information here. There's a nice little sheet where, depending on which side of the hex you hit your opponent, it hits on different parts. And here you go. You got your head, you got your tail, you got your wings, you got your torso. Pretty simple as that. You can play Battletech. You can play this no problem. It's pretty simple because not overly too much variety. And with this game like this, it's generic fantasy. They don't have an extensive lore. It makes it flexible to integrate it with other games you want to play with this. Say Dragonlance. Well, many of us are familiar with the Dragonlance board game. I know of it, never played it. But there's also an interesting Dragon Strike game. No, not the Dragon Strike from the 90s there that came with a videotape. No, my brother had that one. But this one is a game similar. It has the exact same name, but it plays on the concepts of miniatures, on a larger scale, but you're flying dragons attacking each other. But it's not playing with these same game mechanics. They're used on something else. The only thing about it in common, dragons on bases on a hex grid. That's it. But you can check that out. It was successfully kick-funded earlier this year at the time this video was made. So, with that, with this video going back, I'm just showing off some angles of the 6 miniatures that I got. Normally I do before and after. Not the case here. This is just strictly painting here. With that, what it is, I got these because the box set not only came with 6 dragons, you also have the option to put little riders on top of it. And I wanted to use up all that I had left. I had 2 from this box set that I haven't used. And little did I know, when I got the 3 blister packs, one of those blister packs had 2 more riders to add to it, 2 knights. So now I have 4 with riders on top. And by the way, the blister packs I got was 1 pack of copper, 1 red, and 1 purple. Each blister pack has 2 dragons. You have to assemble the wings, which requires a little filing and maybe a little green stuff or milliput to fit it in perfectly. And then you have the plastic hex base to put on top of that. So, and also another thing, if you're trying to look for these on eBay, you want to be careful. You can't just simply say Grenadier Dragon Lords, because most of Grenadier's Dragon Lords that people have are on the 28mm scale, so they're larger. So in order to refine it, you have to put an additional Grenadier Dragon Lords board game or Grenadier Dragon Lords 6mm. You have to play around with that just to find it. Even then, take some searching. Be careful because you don't want to get fantasy lords or something like that. So they usually come in yellowback blister packs as Dragon Lords. So with that said, I'm just showing off the angles of the dragons that I got painted here. Sorry if it's not the best focus. It's hard for this camera. This is a small little Canon camera here. It can only do so well up close to miniatures on that scale. One of these days I'll have to get a better one. But hopefully you get enough to an idea to appreciate it here. The paint job, after looking at the photos I've taken, yeah, it kind of looks like the paint jobs may not look that great, at least that up close, but it looks better when there's a little bit of a distance here. I sound like I'm making excuses, but I digress. You see what I mean. But it's hard to get a lot of detail on this, but it's enough to where on that scale it looks good on the board. So it's a simple slideshow here of the 6 that I bought. Thank you all for watching. Have a nice day.